Jake, thanks for joining us. You said Friday afternoon that all Americans in Ukraine should get out within 24 to 48 hours. That 48 hours is almost up. Do you anticipate this invasion could happen as soon as tomorrow? And what can you tell us about reports that U.S. intelligence believes Russia is considering Wednesday for an attack?
Well, Jake, we cannot perfectly predict the day, but we have now been saying for some time that we are in the window and an invasion could begin, a major military action could begin by Russia in Ukraine any day now. That includes this coming week before the end of the Olympics. Of course, it could take place after the end of the Olympics, or it is still possible, we believe, that Russia could choose the diplomatic path. But the way they have built up their forces, the way they have maneuvered things in place, makes it a distinct possibility that there will be major military action very soon. And we are prepared to continue to work on diplomacy, but we are also prepared to respond in a united and decisive way with our allies and partners should Russia proceed.
You've been warning about a Russian invasion of Ukraine since early November. That's 3 months ago. It does seem as though something has changed in the last few days. You and your colleagues seem more alarmed than ever. What specifically have you learned in the last few days to prompt such urgent warnings? And do you now believe a Russian invasion of Ukraine is more likely than not?
Well, when we began, when we began warning about a possible Russian invasion of Ukraine in November, we were pinpointing sometime after the turn of the year, sometime in the January or February timeframe. So what we watched then happen over the course of November, December, January, was the buildup of Russian forces in both Russia itself and in Belarus, which is the country that borders Ukraine to the north. And what we've seen just in the last 10 days or so is an acceleration of that buildup and the movement of Russian forces of all varieties closer to the border with Ukraine in a position where they could launch a military action very, very rapidly. That is also consistent with the information we're picking up from a variety of sources. I'm not going to handicap what will happen. I cannot sit here today and predict. What I can do is make sure we are prepared, and we are prepared. We are prepared to respond immediately and decisively, flanked by our allies and partners if Russia moves forward. We will defend NATO territory, we will impose costs on Russia, and we will ensure that we emerge from this as the West stronger, more determined, more purposeful than we have been in 30 years, and that Russia ultimately suffers a significant strategic cost for military action.
You've been warning about the Russians using a false flag operation to justify invading Ukraine. That's a strong claim to make without presenting a shred of evidence. Is there anything more you can tell the public, a public that might be justifiably rather skeptical of claims about intelligence?
Well, let me make 3 points on this. First, we're not putting forward this intelligence to start a war, which has happened in the past, Jake. We are putting forward this intelligence to stop a war. And I think that fundamentally gives it, at the outset, a different level of credibility. Secondly, this is consistent with the Russian playbook. We have seen them do this before many times. You ask any Russia expert, they will point to examples of where Russia has used false flag operations as pretext to start military action. And then third, if you look at the Russian media, they are laying the groundwork for a potential pretext by raising the possibility of attacks by Ukrainian forces on either Russians themselves or Russia's proxy forces in the Donbass. And then finally, what we have said is stood at the podium and shared with our allies that we have information that we have gathered through intelligence that indicates that there is active planning for this. And it's not just the United States saying it. We have our NATO allies stepping out and saying it as well, because they've been able to review that intelligence, assess its credibility, and reach the same conclusion we have reached. So I do think the world should be prepared for Russia staging a pretext and then launching a potential military action.